I'm Misquoted, and this is a YouTube channel about living with hypermobility, Ehlers-Danlos. Today I'm going to discuss a couple of yoga modifications that you can do to help you adjust and get yoga working for you. So I'm a big proponent of yoga. I think yoga really helps me scan my body, figure out what muscle groups I need to be concentrating on that day, what might be too tight, what might be too loose, and how I can better tailor my day's workout to what's going on in my body. But there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about with your hands. So for me, I find that a lot of weight in my hands and wrists is really not very good for me because of my hypermobility. It really causes quite a bit of pain. And what I have learned to do is instead use yoga blocks. So if I'm going to do a downward dog, I use the yoga blocks. What it does is it shifts your center of weight from over your shoulders to a little bit more over your hips, and it takes some of the weight off your hands. If I'm doing yoga and I'm doing something like a sun salutation where I'm doing a bunch of different things, then I'll also do my planks with this. However, if I'm doing planks as like an exercise for the day, I actually prefer to use barbell as the little hand weights and put it that way so that my wrist is straight and it's not in flexion. And you can kind of adjust it a little inward if that feels better, so you have a little more inward rotation. You don't have to be straight. You want to watch where your elbows are. You want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not locking out your elbows. You don't want to be doing that. You want to have them nice and relaxed so that you're engaging the muscles and not just relying on your joints to support you. And then if I'm doing something like a forward fold, I will actually, even though obviously if I have hypermobility Ehlers-Danlos, I can touch the floor flat palmed. I do this instead because it gets it more in my hamstring as opposed to this, which is getting into my joint, right? I don't need to be doing that. That doesn't stretch my hamstring at all. But if I'm up here, I'm getting a lot more stretch into my hamstring. I'm getting a lot more productivity. So those are just a couple of modifications for you to think about. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by.